Hey there, everybody, welcome back. Let's talk Manchester United. If you are watching this, please like and subscribe. It does make me happy. I'm not even kidding. Every time I see a new subscriber, it makes me very, very happy. So if you are watching this for the first time, please like and subscribe. And also, check the shorts out on my channel. It's not what you think it is, and I'm pretty sure you will like it. Now, let's talk about Manchester United. I purposely did not make a video after the defeat because I was like, what's the point? I'm going to be spewing the exact same thing that I have. I'm pretty sure hundreds of other YouTubers are doing the exact same thing. I did myself, saw it on TikTok, where everybody's speaking about the same thing. People are angry, people are frustrated, people are putting blame. Some people are blaming Amorim, some people are blaming the players, some people are blaming Ineos. But one thing is very, very, very clear. We are shit. That is very, very clear. No matter how you assess it, no matter who you blame, one thing is very, very clear. Manchester United are shit. And as a Man United fan, and as someone who's been a Manchester United fan for more than half his life, this is honestly one of the most embarrassing sides I have seen. Honestly, the most embarrassing side I have seen. Under Ragnick, it was honestly a lot worse, but I think there it was just downing tools. Here, on the other hand, it's clearly lack of quality, and people are saying opposition supporters say this, and some Man United idiotic fans say this, like, oh, a lot of these signings are from this year. Oh, Ten Hag bought these signings, so they were shit, or you were saying they were good under Ten Hag. So what's the thing? The thing is very obvious. These players are clearly not good. And they're definitely not good for Ruben Amorim's system. What you need to understand is a lot of these players that were bought by people in charge who, honestly, I wouldn't trust to do my taxes, let alone scout players for millions and millions of pounds to play for the supposedly the greatest side in the world. But we had morons working there. And a lot of these morons were not that good, obviously, in their job. But the other thing they were not good at as well was buying players for the long term, which again, I said, they weren't good at their job, so how can they do something like that? So what they did was they would buy players, not really thinking about the long term. No, don't think they bought Luke Shaw, maybe Luke Shaw, but after his injuries, definitely not. They bought Luke Shaw, Victor Lindelof, and a couple of other players and said, hey, these guys are so good. They're going to be here for the next, I don't know, almost 10 seasons because you're that good. And that's what it's been. Lindelof's been here since Mourinho's days. Same thing with Dalot. There's so many more players. Rashi's been here for so long. And the point I'm trying to make is when you have players at a club for a very long period of time, it should be for one and only one reason. It's because they're phenomenal. That's why we kept them. But that's not the reason why we kept them. We kept these players because it was easier on the people working. Imagine you're working at your job, and you can obviously put in a lot of effort and do really well, or you can just surf online and maybe do an hour's worth of work at the most. Which one would you prefer, right? So it depends person to person. The thing is, the people who work for Manchester United, who are responsible for buying these players, fell in that second category that I told you about, and they didn't want to do a lot of work. And our owners couldn't care less. They honestly couldn't care less. All they cared about is not spending a lot of money and spending only when the fan base makes noise, and then you spend some to pacify them, and you start the same cycle over and over again. So what we have right now is we have a lot of players that are suitable only for a counter-attacking style of play. I love Bruno, and I think Bruno is a really, really good player. But he's not the same player he used to be a couple years ago. That's one thing. And the second thing is, I think Bruno honestly is good as a counter-attacking player. Even for Portugal, where he does well, he plays for Martinez, who's basically just Southgate, like the Spanish Southgate. So thinking that Bruno can adapt to Ten Hag's style and the now Amorim style might be just naive on our part, right? Because when did Bruno play well? Bruno was amazing under Oli. After that, he hasn't been that good. And one of the reasons for that is we don't play that style of football anymore. And so that's just one problem. Now let's go to the other part. A lot of people are saying Amorim just changed his style of play. Amorim just changed to adjust to accommodate to the players that he has. Because, hey, you guys are all complaining he doesn't have the players. So why just keep on losing? And I'll tell you the reason why. And a lot of us know it. It's because the moment these players start performing because he changed his system, you know what's going to happen? Something that's happened for the last 10 years. It's like, oh, these players are good now. Come on, go and just get along with them. We anyway don't have any money to buy players, so let's just make deal with that. And that's the reason why Amorim is probably not. Honestly, I think he's not changing his tactics because he's very big, firm believer in himself and his tactics and his coaching team, because it's been the same team throughout his career as a manager. And that's one of the biggest reasons. But the other reason that he probably does know as well is what I mentioned. Because the moment he changes the system and players work, people are just gonna say that, hey, we don't sign anyone else, just use him. And that's a danger. Because what happens is they might work well because he changed the system, but whenever he goes back to a system, and this happened for Ten Hag. Ten Hag, his first season, just played counter-attacking football pretty much. And Casemiro and Eriksen were good as well, so we had a good midfield. And Rashford had an amazing season. But the second season, when he started trying to play his own style, our players couldn't do it. Some of them could, but majority of them could not. And injuries also played in that as well, right? Mason Mount, I think, really could play these tactics. Unfortunately, Mason Mount is made of glass. And, but anyways, that's a stupid signing. So that's one of the second thing. And then the third thing, which I really, really want to talk about, is it looks like we might get some transfers. Everybody said we are going to do some business, but then it's January 21st today and nothing, no one's been signed. But I do still feel some players are going to come in, maybe one or two players. And you know why that's going to happen? Because Alejandro Garnacho, our star boy, the one all of us Man United fans love, who is nowhere close to his potential, is going to be sold to Napoli for not even £70 million apparently. And that's where we are as a club right now. We are basically Everton or Crystal Palace. We're selling our prospects so that we can get money to rebuild our team. And what we really want to do is get rid of Casemiro, get rid of Rashford, get rid of Eriksen, Lindelof. But we can't because of all of the stupid decisions that were made by the higher-ups for these last 10 years. Remember, in life, consequences don't necessarily happen instantly. A lot of the times, for example, if a person has a credit card and they just go shopping like crazy today, they're not going to get in trouble tomorrow. But they are going to get into a lot of trouble if they can't pay those bills down the line. And that's what happens. Sometimes you see consequences immediately, but a lot of other times, and Manchester United is an example right now where you have made so many bad decisions when it comes to signing players. So many bad players, so many below par quality players, and eventually they all piled up. And now we have a squad with some players who are good, but a lot of them who are not. And what happens is we are forced to rely on youngsters like Kobe Mainu, and Lenny Euro, maybe not Euro so much because we do have a full defense, and Garnacho. And maybe Ahmad to an extent, but Ahmad's in his mid-20s now. And what happens is with young players is they can be consistent. Try to remember, you might be that young right now or maybe older, but remember when you were 19, 18, 19, 20, you were in school, enjoying university or college, wherever you are, just having fun, partying. These guys have to go in and week out, every weekend, and represent Manchester United and basically be that guy every week. And it is very difficult. Saka did that. Lamine is doing it right now. And obviously we've had a lot of players in the past. But right now, our team, but a lot of these players in the past did play with good players surrounding them in every position. Kobe does not. Euro does not. So it is very difficult to be able to compete and play well with just half a team. You need a full squad. You need a squad of at least 15, 16 players that can play the system. We don't even have a left back. For 18 months, we haven't had a left back. So what do you expect from this team? Anyways, I can go on and on and on. I really hope that they do get some good signings and Amorim does do better. The worst thing they could do right now, after already the so many worst things that they're doing, including selling Garnacho, the worst thing they could do is sack Amorim. Because the fans really like Amorim for once. But what we're scared about is, like Ragnick, everybody thought he's going to be here in the long term, but he was gone pretty quickly. And then it's not necessarily because the fans wanted him gone. It's because he said things that the Glazers weren't happy about. And Amorim is saying a lot of things. He is a smart guy, and he is very careful with what he says. However, one or two things, if he irks the Glazers the wrong way, he's probably gone too. And they won't even care about the money. I don't even know. But I'm happy. One good thing that came out of the weekend is Amorim apparently ripped into the squad. Apparently some players were crying, furniture was broken, TVs were broken, so there you go. That's our transfer budget gone now. But I'm happy something like that happened, because these players, for the longest time, a lot of us say that if only we could get in front of these players and give them a peace of mind, just tell them how entitled they behave and how arrogant they are, and how much hope lies on their shoulders. And it is an absolute privilege to play for our club, and any club for that matter. But these bozos don't care. So I'm happy that Amorim really ripped into them. And I'm pretty sure that these guys are still going to be pretty awful on the field. But some of them will probably get the kick that they need from this. But the rest, I don't know. I just hope Rashford and Casemiro are gone at the end of this. Because honestly, they might be nice guys, but to that dressing room, they're toxic with their behavior. They're toxic with their attitude. They might be swell guys. They might be swell teammates to others in other dressing rooms. Maybe they were that in our Manchester United dressing room. I'm pretty sure they were in Ten Hag's first season. But things change. And as things stand right now, they are toxic and they need to leave. And they're toxic with, honestly, their work ethic more than anything else. It's not like they're horrible people, but their work ethic is miserable. And they can argue with me if they want, but they probably won't. But anyone will say that their work ethic right now is absolutely disgraceful. So we end on the positive. I think we're going to beat Rangers. Woohoo! Yeah. But pretty sure we're going to lose to Fulham. I don't think we have a chance. Maybe because we're away, we might draw. But I don't see any. I think it's going to be a horrible performance. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Take care and go Manchester United.